Welcome, this is your beginner's guide to rock. Welcome to part 1. I would recommend doing parts 1 and 2 together if you can. If you're seeing this on the first day of being published, then you'll have to wait for part 2 to come out. If it's already available, it will pop up at the end of this video. When it is available, I will attach it to the end of this video, so you don't need to wait. You can go straight in, or you can click on the playlist for the full mini course. So the playlist is going to pop up also at the end when the whole playlist is completed. I am recording it as we go. I'm not recording it in a batch and putting it all out at one time. So if you are a regular to my channel, welcome back. And if you haven't subscribed, then why not? It's completely free. It'll take you a second. Just go and subscribe now. And if you do enjoy this, remember to like it and to share it with someone who you think will benefit. So the beginner's guide to rock singing. There are some very obvious and some very subtle differences between rock singing and other styles of contemporary singing. Contemporary singing just means it's not classical singing and it's not folk singing. So classical is that kind of opera sounding, and folk singing is the more traditional type of music that you'll find locally to where you live. So there are different types of folk music. I live in London, so we have English folk music, Irish folk music, Welsh and Scottish folk music, and of course all around the world the natives of the country have their own traditional folk music, and there will be other types of folk music which has evolved over time as people move around the world, which is a good thing to do. So coming back to rock singing. Rock singing is usually quite harsh sounding, not always, but usually quite harsh sounding, particularly in classic rock, in heavy metal, and then there are some more rounded kind of bluesy rock sounding songs that have a little bit more of a kind of soulful edge. But the main thing with rock singing is that there is a lot of belting and a lot of mixing, and this is where a lot of people become unstuck, because we feel like, because it's a very big and powerful sound, we feel like we have to push and force our voice, and it's actually the complete opposite. We never ever push or force our voice with singing, even when we want to sing really powerfully. What we do is we learn the right techniques, and if you've not learned any techniques at all, or you've learned classical singing, it can be quite difficult to then go into more powerful singing with that very big, powerful, belty sound. So the difference between singing, let's say, a soft, ballady pop song and classical singing is that we tend to use the back of our throats, the back of that area at the back, and it's a kind of that kind of open sound, I should say. So if you think of a singer like Eva Cassidy, you may or may not know her. She was made famous posthumously, so after she died, unfortunately, but she has a very beautiful voice, but it's a very soft kind of type of song, and she sings Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So the original Somewhere Over the Rainbow, but she sings it more Somewhere Over. Okay, so that's the kind of soft singing. We can think of singers like Billie Eilish, Christina Perri when she sings 1,000 Years, and there are some other singers like that. Lana Del Rey, she has that kind of soft voice, and also Ellie Goulding. So it's that kind of softy. Now you can have powerful head voice singing, which is the more classical sound. In rock singing, it's much more forward, and it's not shouting, and it's not chest voice pulled up. You might hear some vocal coaches say you can either sing chest voice or mix, but if you're singing in chest voice pulled up, that's actually just high chest voice. Belting, technically, the proper and correct technical way of singing in belt is a combination of your chest voice, and your head voice, So we have the chest voice for the power and the head voice for the clarity and the purity and the lightness. So I hope that this is helping you to understand a little bit more about the difference between rock singing and other genres of singing and how to approach it. So I'm going to give you something that can get you started with that forward placement. And what we want is a kind of a nasally feeling, and that's going to get you there. Don't worry about your voice sounding nasal, because once you've established the technique and you're able to do it properly, it won't sound nasal. It will sound like rock singing, and it will sound powerful in the right places and softer, calmer, and more balanced also in the right places when you use the right techniques. So to get that forward placement, it's a great idea to start to warm your voice up with a zzz sound. So zzz at the front of your teeth, and you might start to feel it here. Zzz. What you don't want is zzz. So it's not a soft sound. Do it with your kind of speaking voice, and aim for feeling a buzz here and a buzz in your teeth. And when you get to the higher notes, you don't want to make it louder to reach the notes. If you have to make your voice louder to reach the notes, you're not doing it correctly. So if your voice falters or stops sounding altogether, that's better than pushing and forcing your voice. So we're going to start down here for those people with lower voices, and we're just going to zzz. And go for that buzzy feeling. And we're not trying to make it sound nice or good, whatever that means. I don't know why I did that. I always do that. I don't know why I do that. But we're not aiming for good or nice, so we're not going no, we don't want any of that. Just nice and straight. That's what's going to train your voice. Adding all of that fancy stuff at the beginning doesn't train your voice. It actually gives you bad habits that it's going to take longer to undo later on. So nice and straight. Here we go. So nice and softly. Still aim for that kind of pressure around your nose. Notice I'm not getting louder in volume, voice-wise. As we go down, you want to keep the same effort. Don't think now that we've done high notes that it doesn't matter anymore. You still need to give it the same amount of concentration and the same amount of focus, but we're still not pushing. buzzy feeling around your nose, that is forward placement. And we're going to use that sound for the remainder of this course, and that's what's going to help you to get that kind of strong feeling and the strength throughout the range of your voice. Now, there are some singers, particularly female singers, who do sing in head voice, even though they are singing in rock bands. So Amy Lee from Evanescence, that's how she sings. The singer from Nightwish, I can never remember her name. And also the singer from Black Sheep, she uses that head voice as well. So, but we're going to focus on the forward placement. So I'm going to give you another exercise which is going to help you to find that forward placement. And the sound is ni, ni. If you've watched any of my other videos on rock singing, you've probably done something similar to this already. And we create the buzzy feeling and the buzzy sound. So we want it to sound buzzy and we want it to feel buzzy. We're not going for a pretty sound, okay? Don't worry about any of that. That will come later. And again, we're not forcing or pushing the sound. So it's ni, 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 ni. And again, it's not ni, 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 ni. That's not going to do anything for you. Nice and straight. Focus on getting the right feeling. Ni. So feeling buzzy. And ni, 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 ni. Ni, 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 ni. Ni, 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 ni. Ni, 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 ni. Ni, 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 ni. Ni, 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 ni. Ni, 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 ni. Ni, 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 ni. Ni, 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 ni. Ni, 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 ni. Ni, 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 ni. Ni, 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 ni. Ni, 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 ni. Ni, 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 ni. Ni, 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 So in the next part, I'm going to give you some more technique, which is going to help you with rock singing. So if you have questions, then I recommend joining my community because I have so many questions and comments going on. I can no longer answer individual questions about your singing and your technique. So join the community, that WhatsApp group, and you can ask me questions directly 7 days a week. So there is a small investment. It's very, very small, just to get you going, and I will see you there and to help you to move forward more quickly with your progress. I look forward to seeing you also in the next video. Stay hydrated. Ciao!